This is usually Big Red's spot, but he's not on tonight. He went on earlier today, so I decided I would jump on and see how everybody's doing. Hope everybody's cool. I know we got some people here already, and this is going to be a fun one. We've got obviously our normal knife unboxing stuff, and we have a bunch of stuff that came in this week. And we're just having some fun because today is technically, depending on where you are, it's either May the 4th or May the 3rd. In celebration of May the 4th, I say, for those who celebrate, may the 4th be with you. So I wonder who's here tonight. I know it's not a lot of people right now. I thought there would be more people here. Hey, Caleb. What's up, buddy? Glad you're here. So this has been an interesting week because I got some knives in, and a bunch of knives came in actually. A couple that I purchased and others that were sent to me. So we've got some stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff to talk about. But again, it is technically May the 4th. Bushcraft Rebooted. What's up? LCAT Bapt, if you're here, I did not see you, so hello there. Since this is May the 4th, it's time to get with it and do the right thing. So it's going pretty well, Bushcraft Rebooted. So this is probably the sliciest thing you're going to see tonight. I mean, hell, this could cut a Jedi in half. We know that. We saw what Vader did to Obi-Wan. YouTube Music Portal, hello there. Ron Crow, hello, hello, hello. Since this is technically SC Knife Monkey, since this is technically May the 4th, I figured the lightsaber would be good. I'm wearing a Star Wars appropriate shirt. For those who celebrate, I wish you all happy May the 4th. Or, as people say, may the 4th be with you. I'm sorry. I have so much fun with this dumb lightsaber and being a Star Wars geek that I am. So this week we got a bunch of stuff in. So let's start with a video that I released on, I think it was Monday. And that was with the Jyn Build Your Own knife kit. And that was this knife. And this comes as a kit, kind of like a Lego kit, but for adults with knives. So, but I absolutely love this knife. I'm so impressed with this. The action on this is amazing. It's a great looking knife. D2 steel. It's a big chunker of a knife too. I mean, look at that. I got my full 4 fingers on that. And the blade's fantastic. That mirror finish is awesome. Great jimping here. I mean, this kit comes in at like $38 or so. They sent it to me, Jyn, and I was really happy they did. They actually very, very much liked the video I did too, which I really appreciated when they saw that. But look at that. And it's a D2 knife. And man, the action on this is amazing. Considering that, you know, this is one that you build. And I literally just caught my thumb with that. Oh, well, if I bleed, I bleed. But look at that. The acrylic handles are great. And they sell this as well with G10 handles in different patterns, you know. So, yeah, I did get myself on that. But just a cool looking knife. And what I love is you have their name here on it. But that's the only place. There's no other real writing except for there where it says it has the blade steel on the back. But no billboarding. And the clip's kind of cool because it's got the star in the clip. And it's deep carry and reversible. So Jyn did a really good job on that, you know. So there was that. Then there was the video that I released the other day on Wixco. Lou, what's up? So this is the Wixco, if you're not familiar, is a new sub-brand of Ferro Monster. This is their economy line, so to speak, their budget line, but still very good quality. Look at this thing. This is their Pexton model. 1 minute knife review. Hello there. So everybody else seemed to have gotten the I forget the other models that they got, but they went with the one with the shredded blue carbon fiber. But I went with this route because I had a feeling that no one else was going to do a video on this one. And so far, I haven't seen anybody else do a video on this one. And again, this is their Pexton model. 14C28 blade, thumb flipper, great jimping on top, thumb deployable, liner lock, aluminum handles. I mean, lightweight. This is just a really nice knife. My only complaint is that the clip is not reversible. But the action on this is really good. Oh, I got myself really good on that other one. So you can close this puppy with one hand, no problem. And that just flicks out of there. So I'm really digging what I've seen so far by Wixco. And again, this is Ferro Monster's budget line. I don't know if anybody else in here has done videos on it yet, but yeah, the Drax does look really good. I had thought about the Drax, but like I said, I went with this one instead because I knew everybody else was going to go with that Drax. So, but if you get a chance, check it out. And I love, by the way, I love their logo on the pivot. That's the only thing that is on here other than the steel type, you know. And again, it's a 1428. See, hey, Ralph, glad you're here. And man, I'm very happy for Barbie that she got over the 1,000 mark. Really, really happy for Barbie. You guys are really good friends. So, but I love their Wixco logo. It's a bat, but it also forms that W in there, which is really cool. So that came in this week. But also, let me show you in the box because they present a nice package. In the box, you get your pouch like everybody else, but it's not that standard black pouch. And that's a morale patch that you can take off with the Wixco logo. So, and of course they give you the cleaning cloth inside. Just, they're doing a really quality job over there. And, you know, if you like Ferro Monster and you want to get into something that they design and build, I don't know who the OEM is, but that they designed, that's a good way to go. And look at that. I wasn't kidding. I caught that other blade was so sharp on that Jyn, that caught my thumb really nice. So, oh well. That means the knife owns me now. So another one that came in that I actually did a short on today was from CJRB, and that is the Centos. And this one is a Dylan Mallory design, and we all know Mallory. He's always in the different lives, you know, participating. And it's a thumb stud deployable knife. Look at that knife, man. Look at that blade. That is pointy as anything. That is a stabby kind of knife. But look at that. The G10 handles are textured. Look at that texturing. Full four finger grip. And jimping on top, the jimping is not, even though it looks aggressive, it's not very grabby. So, how do you like the small Centros? Because Dylan has them for sale on his site where he's made some mods, and I was thinking about picking one up because I really like this one. Neil McKenzie, what's up? Kelly, hello there. So, I will say one thing. Because of the design of this and the way you have to flick it, it's very small, right? Yeah, this one's a big size, so that's why I went this route. Plus, also, you can get these, because it's a discontinued model, you can still get these on CJRB's website for $30. And if you have a discount code, it'll, you know, be even less. But yeah, $30 for that knife. You know, RPM 9, AR RPM 9 steel. And it's just a really nice knife. But I will say, like I said, or as I'm starting to say, because of the way the thumb stud is, on a lot of knives, I can push upward like this and it'll flip out. On this one, I kind of have to push outward. So, like, I can't push up. I have to push, in this case, left. On screen, it'll be opposite, but I have to push outward to make that deploy. My Kaiser Guru is the same way. And hey, Kelly, I'm so glad you're here. Look at that. And there's Dylan Mallory's Maker's Mark right there. But man, it just deploys slightly different. I will say one thing, I was kind of disappointed in CJRB, but I'm not going to complain because the knife at this point, since it's discontinued and it's on a big discount, like I said, you can get for $30. You know what you get in the box with it? Nada. No pouch, no sticker, nothing. Oh, wait, that's not true. You get a silicone pack. So I was really surprised at that because I have, plenty of other CJRBs and they've always come with something. But this one didn't. I don't know. Yes, troll candy, absolutely. So we'll get that out of the way. Then we have another knife that came in from Tactical Gears. And I bought this because last weekend I was in Neve's live auction. And I wanted to bid on this, but I had already won a knife in that auction from Monterey Bay, which was supposed to arrive today, but they put a notification in my mailbox saying they couldn't deliver it because it wasn't a secure location, which is just crap because I get everything else in that mailbox. And even if they don't get it in my mailbox, they can always drop it off in my hallway because the vestibule is always open. And I think it wasn't my regular mail person because they will always do that. So now I have to go to the post office to pick that up. And I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to do that. I know I'm not going to have time this week because at work we are dealing with someone who lost a family member, so they're not going to be in. I have someone going to training in Florida, so they're not going to be in. My big boss is away on vacation as well. So I'm basically kind of running the show at work. So I can't take any time off to go get this package. So it'll probably be a week from today when I go pick it up. So I don't know. There's that. But let's look at what we got from Tactical Gears. This knife, and first off, they give you this pouch, which, knife pouch. I don't know why you would want a knife pouch when you have a knife that's got a clip. But this is a titanium, milled titanium, really nice, with a VG10 blade. So not the greatest blade steel, but not bad. It's a mid-range steel VG10. It comes with this leather lanyard attached, which, again, I don't know why, but flicks out of there really nice. Look at that blade shape. That's really sweet. Beautiful swedge on top. And like I said, look at the detailing, the milling on that titanium handle. So it's a full forefinger right there. You can see it coming out at the end. And there you go. Talk about aggressive jimping. That's it right there. And knife figure just goes right on there. Yeah, it's a bit of a recurve. Absolutely. And I just love that jimping up there because I'm a fan of jimping. So. And what is the model number on this one? They don't list the model number. It's not even on the box. And I honestly don't remember. I'll have to look up what the model number was because I really don't remember. Oh yeah, this is a very sexy knife. I agree. I mean, and the price point of this, yeah, Lou, I can't. Unfortunately, I have the. Oh, look at that. That's the other thing. Titanium clip. I don't know if you can see the color. That's actually a light blue tip, which is a really nice touch. Not light blue clip, I should say. It's not reversible, so lefties again be damned, you know. And it's a frame lock, and you definitely operate it with one hand. It's still a little tight because it's new, but it does pop out of there. It's a little, it's a little tight on, but yeah, it'll work its way in. Like I said, this is brand new. Literally, we're just taking it out. I only took it out just to look at it the other day to make sure everything was intact. B Shady, what's up? Glad you're here. So I don't know. What do you guys think of that? I think it's like I called like a TS40 or an FS40, something to that effect. But not bad. Comes in at under $50. Titanium, I think it was 43 if I remember right. So all titanium handle, nice blade shape, and VG10, which is again not a bad steel. You know, it's a mid grade steel, but not bad at all. So we'll get that out of the way. So another company that I'm going to be working with, who I'm collaborating with, is Ganzo. Ganzo had seen a couple of the videos I did recently on Instagram with their knives, and they kind of reached out to me and said, would you want to collaborate on something? And they asked me, would you be interested? And I said, yeah. And they said, what knives do you want to review? So the first one I asked for was this one. This Ganzo here, which is in this box, which is the FH12 SS. So, it comes in this box. I took it out of the plastic, but it comes with a little pouch. And this one is a really basic, really slick kind of knife. This is a steel handle, not titanium, but flipper tab, straight back blade, D2, frame lock. But just a real straight ahead knife, you know. Yeah, it's just a steel. What I do like, now mind you, this is a knife that comes in, I think, at like $20. Deep carry, reversible clip, or mostly deep. It's a semi-deep carry. But look at that. Spacer tab right there. So if you want to reverse it, you can, and you're not going to be left with, or I should say a filler tab. Right there, you're not going to be left with a hole. And feels really good. And another one with really nice jimping right up there. It's not large jimping, but it is effective. It grabs. There's another full 4-finger knife. For the price point, D2 steel, frame lock works really well. And I will say I've never had a crappy Ganzo. So I don't know. What do you guys think? There'll be a full review video of this. I did a short on it this week, earlier in the week. I carried it. I actually used it, and man, this thing's sharp. I used it at work, and yeah, it was surprisingly sharp. I was able to make every cut I needed to. So that's like I said, an inexpensive Ganzo, which most Ganzos are inexpensive. The next one they sent is a little bit of their higher price. It is, but that's the tip is because it's it's a straight back knife, just the way they are. Again, this is the FH12 in stainless steel. But the next one they sent me, and again, this is their Firebird series. Next one they sent me was their Adomante series. Now, the Adomante series is a little bit of a more premium series for them. Not that they make anything that's premium. It's still a budget knife, but a little bit better on the materials. Again, it comes in and they give you your pouch. But look at this knife. Almost like a stiletto, like a large size stiletto dagger style. It is a flipper tab. And look at that. Look at that blade shape. Look at this giant swedge on top. And this is D2 steel. Titanium clip right there. This clip, I will say one thing, is ridiculously tight. I tried to put this, I wear this week in my pocket, and I had so much problem getting that clip over the lip. But yeah, this is such a nice looking knife. And this comes in multiple colorways. I went with this one, the brown. I thought it was the classiest looking of them all. You can get it in in an olive drab, a black. But I thought this one was really nice looking. And I asked, like I said, I asked them to send this to me. This one is about a $38 knife. So again, not horribly expensive. And Ganzo sent this along for me to review. So those videos will be coming out. And one hand, no problem. But listen to that just pop out of there. It's pretty amazing. I mean, what Ganzo does at the budget range, I'm very impressed with. Now, this clip, by the way, is not reversible. So it's going to be right hand carry only, which is kind of sad because this could have been a great lefty righty knife because, of the way that it deploys. So that's a missed opportunity. Yeah, there's no way to reverse it. But I don't know, what do you guys think of this? Because I think this is a really interesting knife. And man, that's big. That's a big chunk of a knife too. So, guys, let me know what you think on that. But I was really impressed with that. And I never thought, that's the other thing too. I have always, these stiletto style knives, I've always kind of passed on them because it's not my favorite. I don't know, I think of like 50s gangs when I think of a stiletto knife or, Jack the Ripper type movies or whatever. I don't know. I never think of them as like functional EDC knives, but I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be. So let's clear that out of the way. Let's clear some of these out. Let's put them off to the side because we've got a bunch of other stuff to go through. So, like I was saying before, Finch sent me a bunch of knives. And actually, I wound up getting 2 Finches this week that had nothing to do with what they sent. The first one was from our good friend, SC Knife Monkey. I actually purchased this knife off of him. This is the Shiv by Finch. It's a smaller knife, and SC Knife Monkey sold it to me, gave me a really good deal on it. And I believe you're still in here, SC, right? But really nice knife. And I wanted this one for a while, and he had said he was selling some knives, and this was one of them, so I jumped on it. I couldn't resist. I was like I said, he gave me a really good deal on it. But they designed this to be what? A prison style knife. A Shiv, basically. And man, it's a grippy little knife. This is arguably it's a small knife, but I can still get 4 fingers on there. So I'm not sure the blade length. Let me see if it says. No, it doesn't. It just gives me it's a 14C28N, in a satin finish, liner lock, but that came in. And I knew I wanted it because, one, this was the first Finch that I ever bought. This was the Chernobyl Ant. And this is just a really, really great knife. Look at that one. Another one that is deceivingly, it looks small, but it's still a 4-finger knife. And this one comes in just about 3 inches. Or slightly over 3. I forget exactly, but oh yeah, I believe I saw Brian mention that at one point. What's nice is that even on this one, the Finch shield glows in the dark. That's one of their highlights. And what I did, of course, went and put this little Victorinox red lanyard on it with a glow bead just to accessorize it. You got that nice titanium clip, you know, and I really love this one. So this was the first Finch I ever had, and I was like, well, I really started to like it. Well, then last Thursday and Friday, Traditional Pocket Knives, they had, which I posted up for people to take advantage, they had this great deal. They were giving away a QSP Penguin Mini, the premium version that was exclusive to them. That was a $120 knife. They were giving that away free with the purchase of any Finch. So I decided to take advantage of that. And I went for this one, which is the Finch Halo. And it's got that beautiful blue and yellow. And look at that blade. Again, another 4-finger, deceivingly, it looks smaller than it actually is. Oh, perfect. Yep. And yeah, we'll speak about the stray dog in a second. So I ordered this one. This was $80, and I wound up getting this one, which is an exclusive to Traditional Pocket Knives, and this is the QSP Penguin Mini, their premium version. So let's take this out. Mind you, this is a small knife. And of course it has all your standard accoutrements in there. And I'm a big fan of QSP Penguin to begin with, thanks to B's Blades, because as he always says, everybody needs a penguin. Well, I have my full-size penguin, and now I have the mini penguin. Check that out. Titanium frame lock, titanium deep carry clip, but this is a small little bugger. And oops, let's see, I failed to deploy it there. There it goes. Look at that. Just look at that. This knife sells for $120, and they were giving it as a freebie when you purchased the Finch. So basically, and the Finch was on sale because that was originally, I forget the original price, but the 80 was the markdown price because it's an older model. Oh, it is a small blade, but you're right. It is awesome, Kelly. Everything about this knife is pretty awesome. You know, for me, it's only a 3-finger knife, you know, but it does have some beautiful jimping. I can lean up in there. And if I put a lanyard on, I don't know where I could get a lanyard. Where can I get a lanyard made? Oh, wait, I don't know. Actually, I should start. I can tie some of my own lanyards, but I can't make fancy ones like you, Kelly. I can make basic ones, but that would be cool. Taking that apart, but yeah, it's a really cool knife. I mean, and for the price that I pay for both knives, I mean, it really works out to $40 a knife. Yeah, there you go. Oh, I didn't get it all the way. Okay. Mind you, this is brand new. This is only the second time I've had it out of the package. So it was kind of a cool deal. But while I was making some Finch videos, I reached out to Finch, and the reason why I reached out to them was because I did produce some Finch content, and I invited them to collaborate on Instagram. And with that, they agreed. You know, they accepted my collaboration invite on Instagram for so far for the two that I had done. And I said, well, while I'm fresh on their minds, let me reach out and see if they want to collaborate. And I reached out, and they agreed, and they sent me 3 knives. Here's the problem. I can't show you all 3 knives. I can show you the boxes for all 3 knives, and that would be these right here. The reason why I can't show you all 3 is because 2 of them are not out yet. So I don't know exactly when I can show you these. I actually have to get in touch with them. And that's just a tease because those videos will be coming. So let's show you this one. Oh, I dropped. So of course, when you open it up, you have all these standard accoutrements. You have this is the stray dog. You have your stray dog sticker. You have your flipping Finch sticker, your Finch warranty card, and you have the Band-Aid, of course. So this is the stray dog, and this is in micarta. This is in the green micarta, and they sent this, and this is the first time I'm actually opening it. Look at that. Just take a gander at that. What I noticed on some of their newer knives, they've taken the shield off the handle, and they just have the little Finch logo right there. And on the backside where it says Finch with the steel type. Nice large size blade on this one. No, this is the sheepdog. Right? This is the this is the sheep. This is the sheepdog. I'm sorry, the stray dog Sequoia with the green micarta. The stray dog Sequoia with the green micarta, and that is just a beautiful knife. Stray dog, correct? Yep. And I like so far. Again, this is the first time I've actually taken it out of the plastic. What do you think? Again, non-reversible clip, and that's because of the shape of the clip. They would actually have to give you another clip, which Demco does when you buy one of the 80 20.5s. It is a hardy bolster lock, absolutely. And look at that. Really easy to operate. I like that. So there's that. I'm very happy to be working with Finch. Really happy to be working with Finch. And for some of you guys who have channels, what I have been finding, and this is just, I find that if you put out in YouTube shorts and post them as well to Instagram, and then invite these companies to collaborate, if they say yes, they now know who you are. And if you get a good reaction to it, they're more willing to work with you. That's what happened with Ganzo. So, thanks, Rolf. So, like I said, they're more willing to work with you at that point because they've seen what you can do as far as content-wise. So that's how I've been hooking up with some of these companies. Now, this Finch here, this is a new knife by them called the Cherry Bomb. And this one's not out yet, especially in this wood. This comes with the snake wood handle. And they didn't tell me if I could show it to you guys yet. So I really don't know, and it's kind of late in the day to find out. So I apologize that it's kind of a tease. But just know you'll be getting a video on the snakewood, on I'm sorry, on the cherry bomb. Good night, Todd. Appreciate you being here. And then this one is out in a different form. This is the Widowmaker. The Widowmakers are out, but this is a new handle for them. And this one's not out on the website yet, so I don't want to show it until I have permission. So sorry about that. But that's what came in new this week. So that was just a rundown of a bunch of stuff. Did anybody out there get anything new? Just curious. Joe Kasperick, what's up? Glad to see you here, buddy. So what did you guys get that's new? I'd love to kind of see. Does anybody have anything in their carts or, you know? Wow. Come on now, there's 21 people. I know you guys carried stuff. Don't be holding out. Oh, the other thing that came in, and I'm sure everybody got this because we all have Olight. Yeah, I saw that, Neil. You won the GAW. Awesome. And of course, this came in. This is the Olight 18th anniversary edition. The little jobber. I won a giveaway yesterday. I won Titanium Justin's giveaway. So, in that one, I want a CRKT minimalist in the Tanto blade, which is nice because I have the one in the Bowie blade, which I really like. Leatherman, okay. How do you like the Tenable, Rolf? Because I've seen that one. I mean, we all know the Para 3. Para 3 Light is a great knife, but I don't have any experience with that particular Tenable. In fact, I only have one Tenable, and that's the Shard, which I'm hearing mixed things about. The one I have is perfect, but the one Caleb apparently got, I have to actually watch his review, but when we were in his live the other day, he was saying he had some doubts about it. It was giving him some problems. But mine, which is right here, if I could reach it without knocking my lights over. Yeah, I can get it. My Shard is just about perfect, man. Nice. I like Unprofessional Dad's channel, by the way. But I don't know. I love this one. This Tenable Shard is just perfect, man. But I know Caleb, if you're still here, I know you. I got to go back and watch your video. I put it in my save for my watch later list because I was out all day. I actually did something cool today. We went to the Hudson Valley Renegades baseball game. They are the Class A affiliate of the New York Yankees, but my company is one of their sponsors. We have our name on top of their dugout, and we have seats in the clubhouse suites. And what's nice about that is you go, and it's all you can eat. And it was Irish Heritage Night, and they gave out these great hats. But because it's Irish Heritage Night, I was able to get corned beef and cabbage. It was just amazing. So that was a lot of fun. They won. They hit a walk-off grand slam to win the game, which was nice because they were down a run going into the ninth. Like I said, walk-off grand slam. Everybody went home happy, and I got a nice new baseball hat out of it, and I got an awesome meal. Like I said, corned beef and cabbage with mashed potatoes and carrots and And of course, I went back later because when I go there, I just kind of pig out. And later on, I had a hot dog, a hamburger, and a chicken finger. I'm not supposed to eat any of that stuff, but I did. And then I had a brownie for dessert. So if you're at the ball game, you have to take advantage of the fact that they're going to feed me for free. Not that it's free; it costs us a large fortune to advertise there, but it's worth it. Anybody have anything cool for dinner tonight? While we're on the subject of food. Uh-oh, the chat's quiet. Come on, people. I can't do this alone. I need your interaction. I need it. Come on, please. Popcorn chicken and fries. Hey, popcorn chicken and fries is some good stuff right there. It's not necessarily the healthiest stuff, but man, I always tell people, it may not be healthy for the body, but for the soul and for the mental, it's great. Ooh, shrimp scampi. I like chicken scampi because I'm not a seafood person, but yeah, I mean, shrimp scampi sounds really good, you know. But like I said, I do chicken scampi because I'm not a seafood guy. I don't like any seafood. Sorry, not sorry. So, so is anybody else going to celebrate Star Wars Day, or is it just going to be me? I know it's not just me. It's going to be people worldwide celebrating, and I'm going to participate. I mean, come on. We've got a TIE fighter behind me right back there. Uh-oh, I missed something with that chat, Lou. What did Ron say that I missed? Let me go back. Oh, I saw that. Whoops. No, no, no. And you know what? I want to. Nice, nice. I'm glad to see we're all winning giveaways. I think I've won 6 now altogether. I won Eagle Scout EDC's giveaway. That one was just a sticker pack, but still kind of cool. I won that one. I won. I have one coming from Tactical Llama. I won a Civivi Mini Praxis that I'm not sure when he's going to mail it out. He said he was going to get it set up for mailing out last weekend. I don't know if he did or not. I'm not in a rush. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, what was nice about Eagle Scout EDC's giveaway is that he had some Rosecraft. I'm sorry, some Rosecraft stickers that were only available at Blade Show. And he was at Texas Blade Show and he grabbed a few, and those are in there. And I'm really happy because those aren't ones you're just going to get unless you were there. And I unfortunately wasn't there, but now I have them. So I was really happy about that. Um, I know from Bradley's Cerakote or Burkle's Cerakote, I won Brad's giveaway, and that was a huge sticker pack. I mean, it was like, I'm talking about like the envelope was like this fat with stickers, you know. Deneen, hello there. Welcome in. Glad you're here. And like I said, he sent me like so many stickers. Um, I like Mark's live streams, Loot 10, but he has them at weird times where I'm never able to really get there. But when I am, I really enjoy him. Plus, I want to reach out to him. I have something in mind. I want him to maybe come up with a CAD drawing for me and give me a couple of suggestions. So I have an idea for a knife that I don't know, I've been thinking about for a while, and I think I want to kind of pursue it. So I may do it like not in a big way. I'm going to see what it would cost. There's one company I want to reach out to who does OEM stuff and find out what it would be to produce a small batch of like 100 knives. I don't know what it would cost, but I'll find out and go from there. Maybe that'll be the start of a new thing. Adventure 50 knives. Ooh. But does Wu 10 have his scheduled? Like, is he on at the same time? Or is it just kind of random? Because I don't know. Like I said, I catch them periodically. Mm. So speaking of giveaways, Paul Mills, what's up? Glad you're here. So speaking of giveaways, I broke 1,200 subscribers earlier this week. So next weekend on the Sunday night live stream, which is the normal time slot for this show, there's going to be a giveaway to celebrate 1,200, and it's going to be a Rosecraft knife. So yeah, that's going to be in the giveaway. There might be a couple of other things, obviously a sticker pack and that kind of stuff. But that's going to be the 1,200 giveaway. It's not going to be a huge giveaway. I'm waiting for 1,500 for the big giveaway, but there's a nice Rosecraft that's going to be available. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a video coming out in the next, maybe tomorrow morning or maybe Monday. I'm not sure. I haven't scheduled it yet. All depends on if I can finish it tonight or not. But I have some other stuff right after this is done to take care of. So I don't know if I'm going to finish up the video. It's all recorded, and it's just a matter of doing the final edits on it. It's a short video, but that's going to be the one that I'm going to have people go to. And Sundays around night, Wednesdays. Okay, got you, Ron. So that's going to be the one we're going to use the comment picker, and it's going to be for anybody who comments in that video, and then who shows up to the live stream next Sunday. So I'm hoping by doing that, it'll get Hey, Big Red, what's up? I'm glad you're here. I am so happy you're here, buddy. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you letting me take your time slot tonight. But, so like I said, we'll use the comment picker, and that'll be for the video that's coming out tomorrow or Monday. Anybody who comments on that and it shows up at the live next Sunday night, which would be my regular time slot with that, and we'll pick there. And like I said, it'll be for the 1,200, for the 1,200 subscribers, celebration, and that'll be a Rosecraft. So I'm looking forward to that. So we're not quite at an hour yet, and I'm planning to keep going tonight because I'm having fun and I'm wide awake, and I didn't think I would be. So with that, yeah, like I said, and we will be in our regular time slot tomorrow. Tomorrow will just be an hour show because we're gonna go longer tonight, and at some point I have to do other stuff beside, my channel. But anybody catch the short video I did the other day, or actually yesterday, where I was out in the field and it was right after the rainstorm and I had that awesome rainbow in the background. So I was shooting the knife against the rainbow, and I was shooting the what was the knife I shot yesterday? Oh, it was the Rosecraft, the bowfin. And I shot that in the field. Jay Crescadden, hello there. Glad you're here. But I just timed it right. I pulled up to this field, it was actually the hiking trail that I usually go on. And I wasn't planning to go there, but because the rainbow was out and so vivid, I wanted to stop, take video of the rainbow, and then get with the knife in it, and it looked really great. I know you guys are talking about the breakaway beads, but I missed what that was for. Was that for the neck knife? For attaching to a neck knife? You know, so that way, you know, if somebody pulls on it, it'll come loose. I missed what that was about. Sorry, guys. That's one of the other things I'm planning to do within the next couple of weeks, because I'm recording this on my phone, but I'm going to move to my big giant iPad 12 Pro, and I'm getting a rack that's a cage that attaches to the desk so I can put the lights out further so you're not going to see the ring lights in my eyes, and I'll be able to see the chat better on that big 12.9-inch screen as opposed to the 6-inch screen, and I'll be able to keep up better. Derek, for real, what's up? Glad you're here, buddy. So that's going to be something that's going to change as well. Hey, Red, I think this is the first time you're in one of my lives. How do you like the light show behind me? It's my fun thing. But yeah, that's going to be changing, because that'll help me keep up with the live, because quite frankly, I wear glasses because I can't see crap, and I have to keep moving up to see the chat and get too close, and so that's why I want to have it on that big screen. You know, thanks, Red, appreciate it. So that's going to be something that's going to change and hopefully improve the lives as well, because I'll have that. Like I said, it'll be the 12.9-inch screen, and I'm getting this cage that actually attaches to the desk, and I can attach the lights to it. That's the next improvement. I think that'll make a big difference. You know, and it's funny, where I do the live is different than where I shoot in the house as far as my overhead videos go. And I think once I get that cage, I'll be able to do both in one spot and leave it set up permanently. Hey, Brian, what's up? Yeah, I think Caleb just got a wonky one. If I were him, I'd actually probably return it, because mine is perfect as well. Like I said, this shard is such a nice knife, man, and everything about this works perfect. You know, I could play and fidget with this thing all day long, and I absolutely love it. I mean, I love the look of it. This looks like a much more expensive knife than it really is. This looks like a very high-priced knife, and it's not. And it just feels great. The only thing I wish it had was, I wish they would have put jimping here. I like jimping on my knives, you know, but everything else about it is really nice. And even though the clip's there, I don't feel it in my hand. It feels really nice. I absolutely love that. So, I know, I think Caleb got a lemon. Either that, or he just needs to take it apart and fine-tune it a bit. I'm not sure, you know. By the way, this is still one of the most fun knives I have. This little Tack Knives OTF. Such fun to sit and, like, a lot of times when I'm sitting, I know you guys do it too, when I'm sitting watching streams, I'll just be like, you know, I don't like to flick the knives when I'm live like this, because there are some channels, I'm not going to name names, you know who you are out there, you know who you are, who continually flick their knives while they're doing the live. Yeah, Red, I absolutely love it. This was, I for some reason, I was late to the Tenable game, so this was the first Tenable that I have. And again, I guarantee you it's not going to be the last, because I was so impressed with this. But there are some knife YouTubers, and we all know who they are, who will just click, 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 click. And after a while, it's all I hear in my head is click, 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 click. So I try not to do that. Like, I'll flick them as I'm showing them off, you know. But so far tonight, of the knives that I was showing off, which do you guys like best? Just curious. Because I have a couple of in here that I am really impressed with. Oh, really, guys? Come on. No one's going to tell me which knife you like best? By the way, we've got 26 people here, 27 likes. I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Ron the Shard, you like? Yeah, I like the Shard too. Of all the knives I was showing off tonight, any of the ones you could pick, which one do you like best? Um, the Finch Stray Dog. I like that one too. Yeah. Rolf, by the way, I mean, not Rolf. Big Red, I love when you and Nelly do the food tasting, the snack tasting boxes. Those are fun. Me and my wife watch those together. And she keeps looking at me going, "We can do that." I'm like, "Yeah, but Big Red's already doing that. That's their thing." But that's because we both like snacking. So it'd just be a cheap excuse to snack and give us a reason to snack, even though we're not supposed to. But I really love when you and Nelly do those. Those are fun. Wait, you've yet to be shown. Yes, you like the yet to be shown Finches the best. I am sure. I'm sure, JB, that you got those Finches too. Finch sent me some knives this week, and two of them haven't been released, so I don't know if I can show them yet. So I need to contact them on Monday. I've been basically just showing people, hey, I've got boxes with these new Finches. So I bet, JB. Like I said, me and my wife watch those together because my wife's not always keen on the knife content, but when you guys do those, she's right there. She wants to watch them with me. So, but yeah, like I said, JB, Finch sent me some knives. Out of the three they sent me, only one of them I see on the website. So the other two, I don't know if I can show them off yet because I don't think they're released yet. I'll have to reach out to them on Monday just to confirm. And I was just wondering if you got new knives from them as well. I'm sure you did because you get every knife from them. Yeah, and the Widowmaker is the one I've been able to show people tonight. But the other two, I haven't been able to show anybody because I can't find them. Twisted Sis, what's up? How are you doing tonight? Of course, JB has the Finches on lockdown. JB is the biggest Finch supporter out there. And that's basically, as I've said before, JB's a bad influence on me because he shows off Finches and I want them. That's simple. That's how I wind up with, you know, this one and the first one I ever bought. I saw his, saw JB talk about these and I had to have them. So he's a bad influence on me. But really, okay, that's interesting. But yeah, JB, I'll reach out to you to talk to you about that because I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. By the way, I told you, you guys know, if you remember, you saw my black cat in one of the lives before, and I found this pin of a black cat holding a knife, and I think this is just adorable, and I had to have it because it reminds me of my little girl. So she's the cutest little black cat in the world, and I'd love to train her to carry a knife like that. She won't because she does what she wants all the time when she wants it. But I found today she jumped up on the table where I do the shooting, the overhead shooting, and she grabbed my do something kind for somebody patch, which that I have that in every video because we know in the community that is means a lot, and I try to live by that. And um, the cat took it. I came home tonight from the baseball game, and I found it on the floor, and I was like, "Son of a bleep!" Speaking of son of a bleep, we're gonna do something fun later. I have a book here, down here under the table. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, and I know it's backwards because I'm shooting with the iPhone, but this is the book of creative cursing. So later, we will have a reading from the book of creative cursing. So what this book is, it's a flip book, and you randomly flip the pages, and it creates random profanities. Nothing too bad though, but we'll have a reading from the book of creative cursing. We will go to the Church of Fun and do our Church of Fun preaching from the book of creative cursing. My coworkers had this at work because one of the things about my office is nothing is politically correct because we work in a small company that's only 21 employees and we don't have an HR department. And basically, don't tell anyone, but anything flies. So I work in an old-fashioned company. My company was founded in 1945, and it's a real mom and pop company, even though we're a big company. And we all treat each other like adults. We don't have to have special rules. I mean, obviously, there's a line that you don't cross with certain things, but there are things we can joke about and say that you would not get away with in corporate life. You know, so I'll give you a good example. One of my best friends there is African American. Me and him are like this, and he has this habit. When he's leaving, he'll always go. He always goes, "I'll be right back," and I always say back to him, "I'll be white here and waiting." Stuff like that you couldn't get away with in corporate, but we're such good friends. We could joke, and it doesn't mean a thing. Nobody's offended, you know. And so it's like that kind of workplace, you know. We and we do get along like family. We have very little turnover. I've been working with people I'm there 10 years. I've been working with people who have been there. Most of the staff I work with have been there as long as I have. So, it's just a great place to work. And I'm very happy. It took me a long time in life to get to a place, an employment that I actually enjoy. So my dad always said a long time ago, it's not always about making money and becoming rich. It's about being happy. And he goes, you could have all the money in the world, but if you're miserable, you're going to be miserable. So he was always like, find a place to work that you enjoy. And I did. My wife always jokes, she says, because my wife is in HR. So she's in the corporate world. And she sometimes looks at me like I have three heads when I tell her some of the things we do, practical jokes and stuff, and that kind of thing. She goes, you would be fired if you worked in the corporate world. I'm like, yes, but I don't work in the corporate world. So yeah, absolutely, Derek. That's the way I feel that way too. Although you do have to pay bills, unfortunately. We're in a world where bill collectors, they knock on the door if you don't pay. So, but yeah, if you could be happy and balance happiness with work and making a decent living, it's all right. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that stinks. Don't they always say that? Fake it until you make it. Hey, Cicero, I, glad you're here. I think I said hello to you before, but maybe I didn't. So if I didn't, you got said hello to again. So, what's on everybody's agenda for tomorrow? Again, it is May the 4th. Like I told you guys, I'm going to be celebrating Star Wars. We've got, as you saw before, the people who were here early got to see the lightsaber. These are fun, by the way. When you, yes, Barbie, that's right. Barbie's got a big giveaway. By the way, everybody, congratulate Barbie. She hit 1,000 subs. That is fantastic. And she got there quick. Like the jump from like 300 to 1,000 seems like it was only a month. Man, that's a great job on Barbie's part. Really happy for her. Rolf and Barbie are like two great people. I love you guys. Gonna meet up with, nice. What's great about this, if you have two of these, once they hit and they make contact, You get that. So, Addicted to Blades. Now, see, Addicted to Blades, I always watch your videos where you're slicing things in half. But imagine if you had a lightsaber. How much fun it would be. A2B2. Sounds like vitamins, man. So, just so you guys know, I have one of those and my wife has one of those. Because why not? They're fun. Yeah, absolutely. MC shouted me out, and I jumped from 800 to 1,000. And since then, which is basically a month and a half, I've gained another 200 subscribers. And like I said, I broke the 1,200 mark this week. Barbie broke 1,000. There are a lot of us who are doing all right. And Barbie and Rolf, they're putting in the work. I mean, doing the live streams. Barbie's putting out content. It's good stuff. Man, I want to see all of us get up to where Metal Complex is or Melissa Backwoods. I mean, Jesus, she's got 1 million subscribers. Could you imagine having 1 million subscribers? And I bet, I don't know what she makes off of YouTube, but just the fact that literally she has sales on is it WhatsApp WhatsApp each week, and she sells tons of stuff. She must make a fortune from that alone. She's got such a big following. But there you go, Rolf. You turn the screws and get Barbie to work. But so check out Barbie tomorrow at 5 because she's going to have a big giveaway, and that'll be great. Like I said, I'm really happy for Barbie. Barbie's good people. You're all good people. That's why we're here. We think about this. There are a lot of knife channels out there, but we all kind of hang out in the same ones. That's how we all know each other. It's fantastic. Rolf, you got to keep that pimp hand strong. I got you. Oh man. No, you're not a questionable character. Not at all. By the way, we all know Lou. Lou is one of my harshest critics in the comments, and I love every minute of it. It's because of Lou that sign's the right way for you guys to read, because he was complaining that it was backwards a couple weeks ago, so I had to switch it. So, Lou keeps me on my toes, and I appreciate that. So, Addicted to Blades 2, what are you carrying today? Just curious. High maintenance. So, by the way, I showed you this earlier, that this came in earlier in the week, and this is the CJRB sent us. Stacy, hello there. Oh, I'm glad you're here. And Nightbot got you, sorry. But I was carrying this today, the CJRB Centos, designed by our friend Dylan Mallory. And this is a really nice knife. But I carried that. I also carried, let's get this off my belt. I'm scout carrying. And I don't take my knives off when I'm home, by the way. I leave them on. But I'm carrying the brand new Kaiser Buddy. And this is the one with the green micarta. And this one is in the ABL steel. And this was one of the, I got this one through Kickstarter, so I've had this for over a month. Nice, Stacy. I'm looking forward to the new knife that he has on pre-sale. He has it. Looks like a really great knife, and it's at a great price point. But so, like I was saying, I was carrying this Kaiser Buddy. Then in the other pocket, in the other pocket, the Olight Arcfeld UV with my trusty little Olight pen. Love my little Olight pens. Then, deeper in that pocket, let's go deeper. I've got my Swiss Army SD Classic. I carried a lot of the same stuff this week. I didn't change up a lot except for the knives. And then I have in my little leather slip joint pouch, which, by the way, I got this 3 weeks ago now at the knife show in Pennsylvania. And I love the fact that it's already starting to patina and it's looking really kind of cool. But the little Rough Rider, Red Fox Barlow, carrying that. Love this little knife, by the way. I just love that red and black micarta. You know, Rough Rider, for the price point, makes some awesome, awesome little knives. I can't say enough. I really like them. Then in the other pocket, we've got the little Gear Infusion pry bar with the ratchet bit on there. Then we have my SOG Power Pint. And that's not the last thing. I think I have one more thing in here. Yes, I do. And I've got my little EDC fidget thing. Which, by the way, this has been really good because I think I told you guys. Hey, Mad Yako, you here? Neil McKenzie, hello. So this is really cool because I have a habit of always needing to do something with my fingers. And I have a bad habit of pulling at my cuticles when I'm not fidgeting. Hey, Kevin Santer, hello there, welcome in. So I've actually been carrying this around and playing with this. So while I'm at work, if I'm on the phone or if I'm typing, reading emails, you know, all that good stuff, reading contracts and stuff, I'm playing with this. And it's keeping me occupied with my hands. And I don't even think about it. I'm just kind of sitting there and, you know, playing with it and doing all kinds of stuff. So I find that's helping me from picking at my cuticles. So I don't know if you guys carry any type of fidget toys with you. Hey, Yako. Next week, I'm going to hit you up for that custom hank we had talked about. And I also want to order some Mad Yako wax. So I'll reach out to you on Instagram about that. I meant to do it a couple weeks ago and I kind of lost track of what we had talked about. So I'll get back with you this week because everybody's telling me your wax is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And God only knows I like sliced bread, even though I can't eat it anymore because of the carbs. But yeah, I'm going to reach out to you, Yako. And Yako, how have you been? I haven't seen you around a lot. I know like I messaged you on Instagram about a week ago and you said you were doing okay. I know you're just kind of busy, but I really haven't seen you all that much in the chats. And I'm glad you're here because you're a good dude. You're a good dude, Yako. So, and I know the community absolutely loves you. Dave-O from El Paso. Hello there. Anybody talk to Blade Walker in the last couple of days? Wondering how he's doing. I know he put up a video. And I'm hoping he's doing okay. I know Ron Crow has that giveaway, or that big giveaway is going to go on to benefit Blade Walker. So, you know, and if you haven't already subscribed to Blade Walker, I'm pretty sure we all have at this point. But yeah, Red, I told you when I was in your live, I was at the baseball game, so I missed some, but I did see he was there. So I'm hoping he's doing really well, you know, or getting better, or, you know. But the other thing is, I reached out to Marshall and Marissa from Legion of Steel today to see how they were doing. I haven't heard back yet. I know they are very busy. Oh, no worries. No worries. I'm glad you're here. Even though you're late, doesn't matter. We're still going. We're going to be going for a while. Like I said, I reached out to Marshall and Marissa. I didn't hear back from them yet. Level on up. Hello there. I'm glad you're here, buddy. So I'm hoping to hear from them soon. If I do, I'll let you guys know. Um, I miss being in their live streams, but I know they're very busy working on the land right now to get it set up for their new facility for Legion Steel knives. So hoping they're doing really well. Trying to think if there's anybody else I haven't seen um, in the chats lately. You know. By the way, I know I mentioned this last week. It's hard sometimes. Like tonight, I was in G Ball's live stream, and I totally forgot Roll Shambo was on too. And I like watching Roll, and sometimes I go back and forth between the two. Well, I do that a lot actually. I'll have one on my phone, one on my iPad. Sometimes I'll even have a third one on my TV if my wife isn't watching stuff. So, but I totally forgot Roll Shambo was on, and it's tough sometimes. You know, it's really tough. Like watching all the lives, and then Ron, you're going on live tomorrow, right? Or were you on this afternoon? I forget because there's so many lives. I need to go to the Knife Tube schedule to see when everybody's on. I forget, but that's also a really great resource, by the way. So the Knight's Edge. Are you here? I missed you. Sorry if I didn't say hello, but well, I'm glad you're here. But yeah, so many shows on at the same time, and it's hard not to. Like Ron was going to go on tonight, and he didn't realize that I was already going on, and he was gracious enough to cancel what he was doing because he didn't want us to overlap. And Ron, I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that, by the way, you know, but I'm happy that you did. I appreciate that. I really do from the bottom of my heart on that. But yeah, it's so hard, man. Really hard. Right, Saturdays. That's what I thought. Saturday afternoon. I don't know why I thought Sunday, but I know Barbie is going to be on Sundays always, and I know MPG. Yeah, MPG EDC. She'll be on tomorrow night before me. She goes on at 10, and then I go on at 11, and she crosses a little bit over into me, and then what happens is most of you guys jump from her over to me after that, and that's cool, you know. But and the other thing, like Legion Steel usually does Saturday nights as well. I know they didn't do it today. They didn't do it last week. Again, I'm assuming it's because they're really working, killing themselves, getting that property ready for their new shop. But I'm hoping that's all it was and that there's nothing else. But they're usually on Saturday. So it's like three shows right there all at the same time. Friday nights is tough too because on Friday, you have Metal Complex who jumps on at the same time that Bees is on, you know. Yes, Lou. Apparently I do. But, you know, and at the same time, Tactical Llama goes on, usually on Friday nights as well. Usually he goes on early enough. And then, you know, oh, tomorrow Zach at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Love Zach's lives. So yeah, it's gonna be one of those things where we have so many shows to watch. You know, and then Monday I do Rob's live because I just can't get enough kazoo in my ear. But yeah, no, it's kind of cool. Like I said, it's really kind of cool for me. I dig the lives. Um, and generally, I'll have the lives on while I have something else on TV or whatever, you know. But and then like, oh, and then Casey's on Fridays as well. Weldon Carey goes on Fridays, generally speaking, and it's hard to figure out who I'm going to watch at any given time. I mean, there are some givens, you know. I watch Zach every week. I watch Big Red every week. I watch G Ball every week. I watch Bees. But sometimes I will switch because Bees goes for 4 hours. So if I miss the beginning of his show, I'll still catch like 3 hours of it, depending on who he's overlapping with. Um, you know, But it's tough. It really is, and it's tough not to step on other people's toes. Yeah, yeah, uh, definitely red. And what's funny is Titanium Justin goes on. He usually goes on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm still at work at 4. So I will turn him on and listen in and basically say hello to everybody, just a quick everybody hello, and I can't really respond because I'm at work and I'm supposed to be working. But yesterday I had a little bit more time on my hands, which is why I was able to participate in his giveaway and I won. So it's kind of cool. But I literally had like 10 minutes, like even though I had him on and I had an earbud in and was listening, I only had like 10 minutes to participate. And that was like the 10 minutes he was doing the giveaway. So that was really kind of cool. But yeah. Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's exactly why we have multiple devices, Rolf. Well, Kelly, you have a great night. And I'm sure we'll see you in the lives tomorrow. I'm sure, you know, and maybe tomorrow late night you'll be up again because, I am the nighttime vampire. But see, JB, when you go on this late, you're out in the other time zone, so it's earlier for you. But I'm jumping on. It's literally 1 in the morning here for me, and I'll be on until 3. And unfortunately, I have to get up early tomorrow. Um, we're taking my mother-in-law out for Mother's Day tomorrow instead of on Mother's Day. I don't get it. I don't know why they're doing that, but that's what they're doing, and I'll be along for the ride. You know. By the way, I love my mother-in-law. She's a really, really awesome person. So in a lot of cases, I like my wife's family better than my family. Don't tell my family. Is that my stepbrother, David? Is that you, buddy? Well, if that's you, hello there. Long time no talk. Oh my God, Dave. Dave, I am a terrible stepbrother. I need to get in touch with you. uh, Me and my stepbrother, Dave, I love him immensely, but we're really no good at communicating with each other. We both have our lives going, and, you know, we've become very busy people. No, no, it's not Mother's Day tomorrow. No, 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 no. So, um, and by the way, my stepbrother Dave, he's not one of the ones in my family who I dislike. I love my stepbrother. He's awesome. He really is an awesome dude. But Dave, how's the wife and the son? Because, you know, I really only get to see everything on Facebook, and I don't go on Facebook all that much anymore. Awesome. Yes, very false alarm. I didn't mean to get everybody thinking tomorrow's Mother's Day. It's not. It's just that, you know, hold on for a sec, folks, because it's getting hot in this room. So I'm going to turn on the ceiling fan. Just talk amongst yourselves. We'll be back. Put the ceiling fan in. Hopefully it's not too loud. But, oh. See, I live in New Jersey, and my stepbrother lives out in Long Island in New York. So there's about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour ride in between us. And I'm really bad at picking up the phone. And I admit it's on me, not necessarily him. But hopefully he forgives me. Oh, and Dave, hopefully you still have that autographed Dave Mustaine poster. I totally forgot about that. So I'll get in touch with you. Yeah, I know. We're pretty bad. We're terrible. We're terrible siblings. Oh, man. But 30 of us still in here. That's awesome. 35 likes. I appreciate that. And we're coming up on the 90-minute mark. That's cool. What time is it? Oh, 2:24. So that's something else. So I've got Worko's flashlight video coming out soon. That's going to be hitting. I think this week. I've got another Rosecraft traditional knife video coming out. Obviously, you'll see videos coming out on Finch in the upcoming days, the Ganzo stuff in the upcoming days. I still have to do my video on the Condola portable fan with the charging bank for camping. So there's that's going to be coming out, and that I have to get done soon. Tomorrow morning or Monday, I'm going to be doing a log and jotter reveal along with a new tactical pen that I got that I really like so far. So that'll be done. That's just a short little 4-minute video, just because I like to do those. And I'm not going to lie, I stole that idea from Big Red, but doing it a little different. You know, I'm pairing it with a tactical pen because I always figure pen and paper, they go together, you know. And it was Zach who initially, from Zach stuff, who turned me on to the log and jotter because I won his giveaway, and he sent me one of the log and jotter notebooks, and I really liked it. And then I subscribed, and kind of cool idea. But like I said, I talked to JB about, you know, I didn't want him to think I was just stealing his idea, and he was like, "Nah, go for it, because JB's the best." So, but what I do is I wait and I let him do his reveal first because it was his idea. So I try not to step on toes, especially being one of the new guys in the community, you know, only being here since late September. It almost sounds like the lyric of a song. Late September back in 63. Yes, yes, Frankie Valli. So, but yeah, so I try to let, or not try, I wait till Red puts out his, and then I wait a couple weeks and do mine. So mine comes out technically at the end of the month instead of the early part of the month when we get them. So, yes, oh, what a night. Great song, by the way. Even though, you know, I'm a metalhead, but a great song's a great song. You know, as you guys know, we've talked before, since I'm a musician, I appreciate just about every form of music, and even more so as I've gotten older. Man, I listen to a cross section of everything. But I actually wind up listening to, when I'm at work, I listen to a lot of Motown and soul music. Classic Motown is so awesome, you know, especially the funk stuff from the 70s, and man, just great stuff. Yeah, it's kind of sad though because they're still parading Frankie Valli on stage. And a friend of mine went to go see Frankie Valli with his mother because his mother wanted to go. And he said you could see it. He's got the microphone, right? And he's singing, but he's not really singing. It's a track. And then what happens is he presses the button when the track's over and turns his mic live, and all of a sudden he starts speaking. And his voice is so weak, you know he's not singing. But they're going to keep parading him out there. You know, it's like Willie Nelson just turned 92. 92, Willie Nelson. Jeez. I mean, obviously that guy's been around my whole life, and he's one of the most prolific songwriters ever. Even if you don't like country music, you just kind of have to acknowledge that. Yeah, he is still alive, Big Red. Yep. I guess he turned 91, and like I said, um, Willie Nelson just turned 92, I think, a day ago. And, you know, Willie is well preserved. He doesn't look 92. I mean, in fact, when I read that, I thought that was wrong. I went and cross-referenced it, and I was like, wow, you know. But man, what like I said, he's such a prolific songwriter, probably one of the best songwriters in American music history. But you know, if you're not into country music, you might not realize that. I'm not into country music, but I just know because, again, I'm a musician and I love all music. So, yeah, he still plays. Absolutely blows my mind. The guy still gets up there and will play, and plays well. Jesus, I can't play as well. I'm only 54. Christ, I mean that he can outplay me any day of the week. You know, and he's been using that same acoustic guitar forever. That's got in the body. It's so rotted away from his sweat and whatnot. It's got the giant holes in it, and he'll still rock that thing. You know, never switched out acoustics. It blows my mind. You know, I play a different guitar every day, and you know, and he's playing the same one day after day after day after day, year after year. Yeah, right? Right, Music Portal? But that man, that guitar's seen some road usage, you know, and Willie loves to play the, hence the song On the Road Again, making music with my friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. Was that? Oh, Neil. Let's see. Well, you know what's funny about country music? Again, I'm not a country music guy at all. There's a couple of artists here and there that I like, some things I like. Um, but I do admit, like some of the country pickers have some most amazing chops and riffs that you've ever heard. And if you were to take those riffs and add distortion to them, they'd be heavy metal. That simple. Those guys can play, but the twangy stuff gets me. I'm not into the twangy vocals, you know. But modern country, if you look at the stage shows they're doing, they're kind of like what 80s metal was back in the 80s. They progressed it, and the style is different. It's country pop now. A lot of country could slide right into the pop charts and fit right there without a problem, you know. And they're doing those mega stage shows, and like they're living like rock stars. Where rock stars aren't living like rock stars anymore. Music industry's really changed over the years. But you know, um, I have friends who are in the music industry. Like right here, I don't know if you can see those drumsticks back there with the heavy metal hand. Let's point those out. So UV. So right there, that that heavy metal fist holding those drumsticks, those are Sal Abiscato, who was the drummer for Typo Negative, and then later Life of Agony. He's a friend of mine. Um, those are autograph sticks that he gave me. But you talk to him, he's a guy who's been in the music business since he was like 16, and he'll tell you how the music business has changed. You know, but the whole industry changed. I've been around a lot of musicians over the years who have been big time musicians. I've been very lucky with that. Um, and man, that the music business has changed. No, YouTube didn't kill the record labels. Digital killed record labels, or I should say, killed the money in the business. Because once things started to, Lars Ulrich was right. Napster, when people started trading music for free, really hurt the industry because people stopped buying records. And then when things like Spotify and Pandora came out, and people are just able to listen to music basically for free, the artists get, it's like a hundredth of a cent for every time they're played, you know, and they're not making money. They're just not making money. To give you a good example, Typo Negative, Pete Steele, when they hit in the 90s, now they had multi-platinum albums, gold albums, but when Pete was signing his recording contract, he knew the writing was on the wall, and he worked for the parts department in Brooklyn, and he basically told the record company, "I'm not signing a record deal unless you can guarantee me more money than I'm making working for the parks department." And at that point, I think he was making like $32,000 a year, you know, and they had to guarantee he would get paid more. And obviously, they got lucky. They hit with a couple of platinum albums and some gold albums, and they made their money. But the record business is tough because even now, you don't make money off of album sales because one, nobody buys albums. Very few people buy albums, and you barely make money even if you're streaming a million streams. You're not making money off of it. So where are they making money? They're making money off touring. But even with that, when you see these big festivals that have like 20 bands on it, half of those bands have actually paid to be on that festival, and they've paid to be on that Thank you for showing up, Big Red, and I appreciate you letting me jump into your spot tonight. Absolutely love you, buddy. So, like I was saying, they're paying to be on the festival. Only your bigger bands are actually getting paid. They're paying to be on the festival. Why? Because then they can sell their merch, and that's where they're making their money off of merch. Now, we have another problem with that, okay? Is that these smaller venues, they want a cut of what the merch sales are because they want their cut. So, beside making barely paying the bands for playing live, at a concert hall or even small theaters or even small clubs, these bands are now getting their money taken from them. So what some bands are doing, yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. I definitely appreciate. At the time, I didn't appreciate what Metallica was doing because I didn't see it, but the writing was on the wall. They knew it, and they stuck to their guns. But what's happening now is I know a few bands who have record deals and touring, they're actually losing money on the touring if they weren't selling merch because touring has gotten so expensive. Just to rent buses, it's ridiculous. And to travel around in a van with equipment, it's just, and then, they're living off like $3 or $4 a day per diem for food, which is crazy. And they're counting on the riders for their food at the venue, but even that, whatever you put in your rider gets taken out of your pay for that evening. So it's kind of messed up. But what's happening now is a lot of bands, they're not selling merch in the venue. What they're doing is having someone set up a table down the street, so that way they could sell stuff without having the venue take a cut. It's utterly ridiculous. Being a musician today is tougher than ever, and it's digital. Digital has killed it. You know, streaming platforms killed it. Wasn't MTV, wasn't the computers. It was. It's strictly streaming. Streaming has hurt the business more than you can imagine. You know. Yeah, absolutely, David. Out of the back, or because you're into the, into the independent music scene. You always have been, and I feel bad for those bands. Down by the river in a van. Yes, Stacy. By the way, Stacy, I enjoy a lot of the stuff you put on Instagram. Just got to tell you, some of the stuff you post makes me laugh. Yep, you know, but yeah, so many bands are just peddling their stuff, outside the venue, so they don't get that cut taken, so they can at least try to make a living. You know. Yes, Stacy, I know, but so what is anybody looking forward to some of the stuff that's coming out that they've seen? I know next Saturday, Casey from Knives Fast, he's got the Tempest downdrafts coming out, and I think there are like what 6 versions of that, and then there'll be one. Um, all right, David, I'll check them out. Absolutely, you know me. I listen to everything, so. But Casey from Knives Fest, like I said, the downdraft is being released next Saturday, the 10th, and there's I believe, 6 different versions that are coming out, as well as there's an exclusive one on Blade Binge. Yeah, I was looking at I was looking at his knife as well. You know, in fact, I was on his website perusing that today. I know he's doing the pre-orders on that, and that's actually at a decent price point for what it is. You know, I don't have any of Casey's knives. I don't have. It's funny. I try to get knives of a lot of the people in our community who design. Obviously, you guys know I'm a Ben Peterson fanboy. I have just about everything that NAFS has put out, everything he's done with other companies. I have just about everything he has put out. And you know, as far as other people, I'm a big Ken Onion. I love Ken Onion's knives. Not that he's in the community, but as far as like the YouTube community, but he's a designer who I love. But some of the other people, like try to support Mallory. But a couple of people I haven't bought stuff from is one, I haven't gotten any of Lefty EDC's Devo knives yet, which I feel like I'm missing out because everybody tells me how great they are. I haven't gotten any of Casey's knives, and I haven't gotten anything from Aries. And I know like his fixed blades, that he's producing are a little bit more than I want to spend on a fixed blade when I have so many fixed blades. I have my T-Kels, obviously the waxed wing made here in the USA. I have someone making a custom knife for me right now who's based out of Pennsylvania. I'm going to show that off eventually, as soon as it's done and I get it. But I don't know. Aries knives are like they're kind of redundant to what I already have size wise. But I think I want to get the Bloom, the Kubi version of it because it's less expensive, and at least I'm representing, someone in the community with that. Um, so there's that. And I want to get something made by Mr. Eddie. I really want a Mr. Eddie knife. So I might reach out to him for a little bit larger. And when I say larger, like most of the fixed blades I carry are like 2.5 to 3 inches. But I think I want to get something like a little bit more bushcraft oriented, for camping, that sort of thing. Yeah, and it's not handmade. So I don't mind. I don't again. I'm not a steel snob, so I'm not. Doesn't matter to me. You know the is the Dutch Brothers channel, Dutch Brothers Knives, right? Or is it Dutch Blade? I don't know what. But those guys have a fun channel. But they have a knife that's out right now. And I forget who the manufacturer is, but they designed it. It's put out by a manufacturer, and it's a bushcraft knife, and it's like in the $45 range. And supposedly, it's supposed to be fantastic. I saw a couple of reviews of it, and I think Max Level EDC put out a video featuring it, and looks really good. It's not in a Kydex sheath; it's a leather sheath, which is not necessarily my favorite. I'm a big fan of Kydex as opposed to leather, but it's a bushcrafting knife, a little bit bigger than my standard EDC knives. I'm always, when it comes to fixed blades, always like something this size. You know. Well, you have a good night, Neil. I appreciate you being here. And the reason why I like small fixed blades like this is because I scout carry, and they're small enough to hide under a shirt. You know, even when I'm at work, I have my EDC, fixed blades always on my back, as well as all my pocket essentials. So, whoops, bring that back down. Yeah, I'm looking to slow down on buying knives. I bought way too many knives over the last 2 years, and truthfully speaking, what's happening is so many knives that I have are essentially the same knife. And what I mean by that, they're they're redundancies. I have so many, D2 clip point blades that are liner locks with green, black, or green or black, either G10 or micarta handles. I can't tell you how many of those I have from every company under the sun. Whether it's Civivi, whether it's Kaiser, whether it's Ganzo, whether it's whoever. I have so many of those, and it's becoming redundant. So I'm trying to stay away from the I want to say the normal, but having the same type of knives over and over again. You know, like even this one. You know, the beef. I love this knife, but how many D2 crossbar locks do I have? You know, mind you, this is a big knife, and there's a lot of custom options that you can do with this. You know, like I already, I put the skiff bearings in it this week. But so many knives I have are literally the same knife. You know, slightly different blade shape. You know, how many more, reverse tanto knives can I have that are D2 or, 14, C? I mean, it's just, so that's what's happening with me. Just too many knives are the same. So I'm trying to get things that look different, different materials, different manufacturers I don't already have. Like I don't have a Migaron in my collection, and Migaron's knocking it out of the park, but I want to get a Migaron that's different than the knives I already have. You know, I only have the one Remet in my collection, and that's because a lot of them that I have in my collection are in the budget realm. And I find when you're in the budget realm, there are a lot of really good knives in the budget realm, but a lot of them are the same. You know, they're tweaking designs that have been around for years. I mean, let's face it, in the knife industry, very few people are reinventing the knife. You know, every blade shape's been done, every handle shape's been done, every combination of handle shape and blade shape has been done. You know, periodically you'll find a new locking system. You know, when Benchmade came out with the Access Lock or Demco with the Shark Lock. But what's really groundbreaking? You know, maybe the Winter's Edge stuff that, you know, or even is it the new Remet that has no screws on the outside? You know, the scales are held in place by magnet. I think it's Remet has that. But that's something I'm interested in. That's something that's new. That's something that's exciting. But yeah, Lou, that's one thing I do have to get a Vanker lock. So I've been looking at, obviously it's a Vosti thing, and I don't know which one I want though. I'm thinking about getting the Schillen cutter with that. I've been on the fence because Schillen cutter is a blade shape I don't have. Gotcha. So I don't get the Akita. I have to check that one out. Um, but I don't have a Schillen cutter in my collection. So getting that for me is definitely worth it because it's not something I have. It's not a redundancy, you know? Um, so that's what I'm trying to get away from. I don't want redundancies at this point, you know? And I'm not talking about if manufacturers send me stuff to review because I'm at their whim on that. And I'm going to give everybody my honest opinion. But as far as what I'm buying for myself, I'm really going to slow down now because, again, I want something that I don't already necessarily have in the collection. Either that or I'm going to sell off a bunch of stuff, to reduce the collection to justify buying something else. And if I do sell off, I'll let everybody know. Gotcha. I'm actually going to check out the Akita. I remember seeing it, but I don't remember the details on it. Refresh my mind, Lou. The Akita, what blade shape is that? And is that a larger one? I again, I'm like you guys. We watch all these videos and we go online, we research all these knives, and after a while, they kind of run into each other. But yeah, I don't know. That's what my thinking is. That's why when aluminum scales straight. Oh, and LMAX. Okay. Yeah. See, even with that, like a knife that I think I would want, they do all blend together, Dave. Especially when you're doing it every day, like I am. I have to remember sometimes because I try not to in my short videos. I try not to put out knives that I've already done before, and it's pretty easy so far because my collection is pretty big. But at some point, I'm going to run out of knives. I'm going to have to start doing the same ones over again in shorts, you know. Um, but I'm trying not to. And there's so many knives I haven't gotten to doing shorts, but I try to do a different one every day because I try to carry a different blade every day, But I don't want them to be repetitive. And there's going to be some new style videos coming up, flipper only. I don't have a problem with flipper only knives. As you can see, I've got a bunch of them that we showed off tonight. You know, um, you know, I'm a guy who likes all types of deployment methods. Probably my least favorite deployment method, even though it's one of my favorite knife companies, is the spider hole. I love my Mannix 2. I love my Tenacious. I love my Persistence. I want to get a Para 3, and I want to get a Smock. Those are probably two that are on my list. But the spider hole is probably my least favorite deployment method. Yeah, Todd, that's true because sometimes if you have gloves on, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a real hard time flipping a thumb stud. Blasphemy? No blasphemy. Like I said, I love Spyderco. They're probably one of my favorite knife companies, but that is my least favorite method of deployment. So, and that's why they make so many different methods. Everybody's got their preferences, you know? And I love that too. That's one of the things that makes our, you know, our little industry, our little field of fun really great, you know? Whether it's this Finch with this tiny little flipper that just pops out of there, you know, or you're looking at, you know, the CJRB with the thumb stud, you know. But I don't think I have any button locks in front of me at the moment. You know, or even like thumb, you know, thumb deployment only on the Shard. But the one, the spider hole takes, I think, the most practice to learn, and I've gotten good at it now. But it took a while. Like I when I first got my different Spydercos, I had so many problems deploying those damn things. And but now I can do it like a champ because yeah, practice makes perfect. But yeah, it's still my least favorite deployment method. You know, that's why like when I bought my mini Griptilian, I bought the one with the stud as opposed to the hole. You know, but yeah, you know, and speaking of which, I I'm going on the record. I'm going on the record right now, and I know I've said it before, and I'm standing behind it. I absolutely do love Benchmade knives, and yes, I know they're expensive, but I do love my Benchmades. So I have what do I have? Two bug outs, mini grip, full immunity, and I've got that McKinley thing. So I've got five different Benchmades, and I like all of them. You know, I think the mini grip though is my favorite out of all my Benchmades. I think that's the most well-rounded of all of them. You know, the bug out. I like both my bug outs, but I want to upgrade one of the bug outs to titanium scales. Actually, let me rephrase that. I have the titanium scales, but I want to use it on um, my copper. It's not copper, but it's like a burnt sienna type of handle. You know, and it's got that cerakoted blade with the orange stud. I want to get somebody. I want to get somebody who out there who does really good anodizing, and I want to get that anodized, to get the titanium scales anodized before I put them on the knife. But I have to talk. I was thinking about talking to Jimmy Crow about that, and I'm not sure what colors we can do because I would like to keep it. I don't know if you can do because I've never really seen. Does somebody do red or orange anodizing? Is that even possible? Because if not, I might reach out to Brad and have him Cerakote them in that same color that the Grivery handles are. You know, because I really like the colorway. I just don't like the Grivery handles. Grivery, I don't know, however you want to say it. So I'd rather have the titanium on there. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys, anybody know who does a really good anodizing? Whoa, everybody. Oh, I know Ken can do it. By the way, I love Ken's channel. Dark water. Ah, you know, I didn't even think about asking Darkwater. Maybe I'll reach out to him tomorrow. You know, yeah, I'll reach out to Darkwater. Absolutely. See if he could do that. You know, and then yeah, I definitely think that's what I want to do with that bug out. You know. All right, so we have 5 minutes left, and as I promised, we are going to the Church of Fun, where we read from the book of creative cursing. So we're randomly going to flip through the book. We'll open her up, and we'll flip the first section, and we'll flip the second section. Oops, and we'll flip the second section. And what we have as an insult or as a profanity, we have the nipple skank. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a reading from the book of creative cursing, and we have nipple skank. All right, we can't just leave you with one. We'll go into for another one. So let's flip a page. And we have wench waffle. Yes, wench waffle. You are a wench waffle. A reading from the book of creative cursing. All right, let's go for number 3. We'll close this up and we'll do another flip. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a reading from the book of creative cursing. Yes, Lou, I know it's backwards. I can't help it. Lou, this is for you. You cooch monkey. So, yes, Lou, you are a cooch monkey. David, Turd Burglar is a very well-respected person in our knife community. He's not here tonight, but Turd Burglar is a well-respected member. So do not besmirch his name. Besmirch. That's the word for it. So, all right. We've got 3 minutes left. And next week we will also read from the book of creative cursing. Actually, tomorrow night. Yes, don't forget, tomorrow night I will be back on at my regular Sunday night time slot at 11 p.m. Eastern time. So if anybody wants to join me then, I think we're only going to do an hour tomorrow because we're doing 2 hours tonight, you know. I know you didn't know, Dave. And Dave, I'm so happy you're here, man. This is great. And Dave, spread my channel. Spread the wealth. Let Nicholas and everybody else know about my channel. You know, let all the guys know. Turd was on somebody's stream earlier this week. I saw him briefly. So I know he's around, but I haven't seen him like the later part of the week. So there's that. But so we've had a lot of people in here tonight, and that really makes me happy because I'm glad you guys want to hang out. This makes it, you guys being here makes this a lot of fun. So, and once again, we're going to wrap up soon. So may the 4th be with you. But, all right, people, we're going to wrap up here. We've got a minute and a half. I want to say, again, thank you for everybody for coming. Thank you for everybody who subscribed to the channel. You know, we're at 1,200 subscribers. We're going to have that giveaway, not tomorrow, but the following Sunday to celebrate 1,200. And really want to get to 1,500. I think at the pace we're going, we'll probably be there by end of June, July, in that area. We are very close to being monetized. And I also posted earlier this week, I do have a merchandise store. If anybody wants to buy merchandise, I should have showed you guys. I have some things that I've actually gotten from my own merchandise store. You know, I'll show those maybe tomorrow on camera. I do have stickers available if anybody wants them. Just reach out to me on Instagram or email me at ADV50 spelled out ADV FIFTY at Gmail, and I'll send you guys out stickers. I have a bunch that are going out because I'm behind on sending them out, and I've got a ton of stickers to send out. So those are going out this week too when I eventually get to the post office. So reach out if you want stickers. And hit me up if you have any questions on anything, or if you just want to say hi. I'm also going to be starting a, oh, that's the other thing. I'm going to be starting a TikTok account because I was talking to another very prolific YouTuber in our community. And that person was telling me that they gained a ton of subscribers by cross posting their stuff onto TikTok. So what the hell? Why not? I'm making the content anyway. So if I throw it up on, what I'm throwing up on YouTube Shorts and Instagram, I'll throw up on TikTok as well. Can't hurt. And with that, I'm also starting a Buy Me a Coffee account. So if anybody wants to, help the channel out, that'll be up next week at some point. So, all right, guys, it's been 2 hours. I appreciate and love every one of you in this community. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for joining me, and hopefully I see you tomorrow night. With that, like I always say, until we meet again, keep your blade sharp. All right, people. Love you. Have a great night.